Newborn Photography, www.purenewbornphotography.com.au. Today I'm going to show you how I edited baby Grace. This is her photo. This is going to be going on a beautiful 16 by 20 inch frame print into my client's home. First of all, we started off with this photo here. So this is the original. This here is the digital prop. I've got a few layers. I'll show you what they are in a moment. And then I use this one here. This is a textured layer. So one thing I did before I actually took the photo is I had a look at the picture. Now I wanted to make sure that this looked as real as possible. So taking the photo very front on from baby, not over the top, not underneath baby. I wanted to really get as front on as possible. I didn't want baby's head kind of poking out one area. I kind of really wanted her on equal plane. So nose and toes were going to be at the same depth of field. So I also took into consideration, we got some pink fluff. I posed baby. I didn't have pink fluff that color, but I had a very similar sandy color here. This is actually the wheat fluffy clouds from my prop shop, so you can check that out. I just pulled a little bit of it off and wrapped it underneath. Now the great thing is you can incorporate this into your posing flow. It's a little bit of a surprise. Parents love it, and it also allows you to be a little bit more creative, with also keeping into consideration the time of your photography shoot. So we've got this one here. I'm going to show you how to do it. I copy and I paste. Now when you paste over, make sure they are on the same color profile. Some are sRGB, some are ARGB. My print lab takes sRGB, so I want to make sure that that's the case. I'm just going to resize down, and then I'm going to just do an opacity on this one here, so we kind of got baby ghost saying there. I'm going to put baby's tushy up a little bit more so she's really nestled in. Now I did also factor in the angle that I took the photo on, as I said before. So we've got I just added a layer mask, very easy to do. Let's put this up to 100% opacity, and we're going to put flow up to 100% just so we can zip away that background really quick. Now, a little trick I do is I actually turn the background off. See here, we've got this like line. Anytime you're doing composite, this is a really cool trick. So you actually make sure you're not getting lines in there. It's something that I just kind of picked up along the way of learning and photoshopping a lot of babies. So this one here, this is kind of where we're at the minute. As you can see, baby looks really cozy in there. And it doesn't look fake. So see how we got like the ripples in the walls? We want this here. We don't want to kind of make it look like we posed her on fabric and cut her and paste her in, because that is really easy to do. Now, just to keep things short and sweet, I've got this one over here. Here's one I prepared earlier. Now, when you get up really close to this area here, I'll just show you. I drop the opacity of the brush down to very low, and also the flow of the brush. Don't be afraid to fiddle around with them. And I kind of brushed it in so that my wool blended with her wool to make sure it looked real. So here we go. This is this one here. It's looking bland because I've got this huge vast space of real big background. It doesn't really make baby stand out. So I've selected this digital background. I'm copying and I'm going to paste it in, which is what I've done here. Now when you paste in, you know what, I'll just get rid of those layers for a minute. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when you paste it in. Just go ahead and stretch that over. I shoot D800, so my file sizes are quite big compared to most digital backdrops, but when you're printing 16 by 20 size, you're not going to really notice that. We want to go layer type. We can go darken. You can just play around with this, see what you like. I really love multiply. It's kind of my go-to layer type. We're going to do a little bit of a layer mask here. I'm just going to ramp this up back up to 100%, and I'm going to paint over baby because I don't want the texture all over her. I'm also going to remove it from the photos. Sorry, from the flowers. So there we go. There's a little function you can use to kind of see where you're. It's kind of come up as a red layer, red masking thing. Let's do that. Now, one thing you do want to do is when you're taking the photo, plan it in advance. Don't kind of go through your galleries and go, oh, yeah, I'd love to stick a baby in a prop with this photo, because it's not going to work like that. When you do it, you want to make sure that, I'm going to backtrack here for a second. There we go. We've taken the texture off there. See how we've got the natural shadowing coming under here? And I also took into consideration that the lighting type on this was quite flat. So I didn't want to have those really bright highlights and lowlights. I wanted to keep it nice and, you know, nice and even tonings over, because this is natural light, this is studio light. So if we're going to do that, we want to keep it real, basically. We want to keep it real. We've got layer mask. So let's go ahead and just remove it off the log a little bit. Take it off the flowers up here really lightly. I edit with a Wacom, by the way. So much quicker than a mouse. If you don't have one, go get yourself one. Okay, see, we've got all our layers here. So this is before background. This is with background. It's so much nicer. So much nicer. Actually, we've got a little bit of texture still on here, so we can make that darker. Alright, so obviously when you're photoshopping, you're going to be a little bit more attentive than I am doing this little quick clip for you. Now, I'm happy with that for the time being. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flatten a layer. I'm only doing that because I'm going to do a little bit of a blur next. What we've got over here is, let's have a look at this background. It's really textural. It's got incredible texture. I'm just going to run a action over it. It's called Depth of Field Enhance. It's from Let Them Be Little. I think that's Erin Toll. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I've had so many actions. It's not funny. All right, we've got this layer over here. Now, black means it's currently not even on yet. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm also going to bring the opacity of my brush kind of down to about 20-25%. Flow is exactly where we want it to be. So I'm just going to go ahead. Just be careful you don't put it over the baby or all over the flowers, otherwise you're going to end up with a bit of a blur. It's not going to look real. We want to keep it off that log as well. So take it off there, take it off the flowers. Again, turning that little red light on. I don't even know what it's called, actually. Isn't it funny? All right, I'm just going to turn that up just... moving. And yes, I talk to myself when I edit all the time if I'm not listening to really loud music. Do you have an editing thing that you do? All right, there we go. So let's have a look down here. So we had a look here before. This is with the blur. This is without the blur. I'm actually just going to turn the opacity of that down because I don't want it to be too blurry. I just want to take the edge off. I want to give depth. You'll see over here now we've got that depth difference between the flowers and the wall. You would actually be quite more careful when you're editing your client's photo than I'm editing mine. Oh, there we go. Editing this video. So you can go ahead and, you know, really get in there and create that depth. So that's that one there. So there we have it. There is the finished product. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts, or if you've got any questions about what I've done today, ask in the group. Pure Newborn Photography, and also Inside the Studio with Pure Art. Thanks for tuning in.